Episode 49 was the worst episode of Super Sentai ever made to this day. It was the worst ending they could have done for the 50 years of Super Sentai. And I needed to let myself vent because normally I would give these episodes a really good chance and really happy about it. But this episode really made my meter a pissed off to the max. I mean, seriously, Gozyuger was a crybaby. Now, to be fair, yes, he lost all of his friends in the last episode. He won all the ring battle. But you know what? I gotta say, they could have done something better. His brother does come in, turns back into the human instead of a sword. Green June makes him morph into his form as a Gozyuger for like 2 minutes, and then he disappears. He was just trying to get his brother to realize what his wish was supposed to be. And now we got to talk about that because his wish is pointless to this show. I know I predicted that his friends would come back. That was an obvious prediction, duh, because that is Super Sentai. That is Power Rangers. They need each other to win the main fight. And that's another situation that I'm really not happy with. This whole ring battle is to have the #1 Sentai so they can defeat the main enemy of the show without any problems. They would have every power of Super Sentai. In this case, Godyruff's wish was to have the ring battle again with his friends coming back. That's fine. His friends are like, oh, you must really like us. And then what they did to Sumino, they put it in the flipping bushes. Instead of being in the group with the rest of the Gozyugers, besides Kumidi, he shows up later, she ends up in the bushes. It makes no sense. And then, to make it worse, when they do the lineup in the Gozyugers uniforms without the helmet, she still has the helmet on. Goju Unicorn has her helmet on. That looked horrible. I don't understand this episode, why they did so many bad things. Sumino should have been with the group. Sumino should have had her helmet off. They had the actor. They could have green screened her in. But again, these last few episodes, 84 and 89, was nothing to do with the original actress that played Sumino. They already replaced her with the new actress. This is ridiculous. They even refilmed the last scene with Sumino, the new actress, instead of having the old actress in the cut. So yeah, this whole thing was ridiculous. So yes, his wish was to have the ring battle again with his friends. Now with Candle, he does defeat Candle too. But that was ridiculous too. Candle says, finish me. And he goes, I can't finish you because you're a friend of mine that I have to battle once in a while, you know. It was just a horrible ending. Like, we are ending Super Sentai for the last 50 years of this show. We might not get it back for another 10 years or maybe more. Maybe not at all. But so, in conclusion, Kumidi sees Goju sitting down with all the rings again. And this gets really horrible because Kumidi is a god. He's always been a god, and no one really realized that he was a god until now. Until the monster said, you're my yin to my yang, you're the good god, I'm the bad god. And when he sacrificed himself, he became the ultimate god. He could have literally ended the ring battle at any point in time he wanted to because he was a god of good. It could have destroyed all evil. And he knew it. And this makes the show even worse because at the end of the show, instead of Goju Ruff like he was probably supposed to do and wish all of his friends happiness and make them all the superstars and, you know, get Sumino back with her sister, no, Kumidi did all that. This is frustrating and not true to what was supposed to happen. I'm almost 100% sure Goju Ruff was supposed to make everybody, you know, their dreams come in. Everybody had, you know, what they wanted. You got the party person, you got the rock star, you got, you know, Sumino back with her sister looking kind of like Sumino now again instead of looking like her other face. This was a horrible, horrible ending to a Sentai show that's been going on for 50 years along, and this was supposed to be the anniversary. And the only thing they did definitely is after the original Gojoojers come back with their powers, their rings reset. So all the original actors that had the Sentai rings got the rings back. So like Turbo and you got the other ones getting the ring back to help with the battle, but even that didn't matter because Goju still had to battle Candle by himself. And yes, Goju again wins the ring battle. You see him sitting down with Kumidi talking to him about how does it feel to be a god? Would you change anything? And he literally said no, he wouldn't change anything. So that means Goju now is a god too. He goes back to the, saloon type thing I always talk about, and all of his friends are there celebrating, because they're all happy now. Sumino's with her sister in the, on a beach with water, because Sumino's not going to be with the group for some odd reason. I don't get that either. They could have had her and the sister with the rest of them, but hey, whatever. I didn't make the show. I didn't make the ending, but I will say I am disappointed. They could have done better. Now, again, what do? Gozyuger has all the rings again, and he's happy this time because his friends are alive. But at the end, they zoom out, and there's Gavin Infinity with his own Sentai ring now. Now he has a ring, so that's one more ring that Gozyuger has to go through when he does the rebattle because it's a Red Robin. Example of Red Robin means if you win a game, good example actually, when you win Mario, the original Mario on the NES, there's a second level, and everything turns into Buzz Beetles. That is a Red Robin, meaning you go through all 8 levels again, well, 8 plus the 4 in between, every single time you beat the game, and the game gets harder and harder. In this case, the game's not going to get any harder for, Gojo because he knows all the fighting styles of every, Sentai ring. It wouldn't matter. I think this was a horrible ending. I don't know what you guys think. I'm not even going to ask anybody to hype this video or even share this video. I just want the algorithm to show it to whoever wants to see it, because I think even though that I love the Super Sentai Gozyuger show in the beginning, it became horrible after episode 46 came out, and it just fell off the planet. I think overall, the concept of the way it was probably supposed to end on episode 50 is different than the way it did yesterday or whenever this video came out. You probably have seen it, and you probably have some ups and downs with this show too. And I gotta say, leave comments down below if you feel like it. Again, I don't really care. I'm just getting this episode out because I'm frustrated. I needed to talk about, I needed a vent, because after 50 long years, Super Sentai has finally died and finally has been canceled, and I am finally done with Super Sentai. When it comes down to the Power Ranger franchise, I'm waiting for the reboot to see how that goes. Will I always have a love for Zyurangers, Car Rangers, Kaku Ranger, and a few other ones? Absolutely. But when it comes down to Gavin Infinity, I'm going to give it a chance, but that leaves a crossover with Gozyuger and Gavin Infinity because that last Goju ring. So, yeah, this was a horrible ending to 50 years of Super Sentai. I don't know, guys. What did you think about it? Anyways, I'm going to catch you later. I'm done venting. Peace.